We thank you again and again for staying with us on the show, TMI Thursday. Let's go to our conversation segment. The race for 2023 is on and it's getting hotter. Usually that's what happens. As we get closer, it becomes hotter. But what major issue that has been at the front burner is the issue of Muslim ticket for the APC that has attracted a whole lot of attention in the last couple of days. As is always the case, you have those for and then you have those against. At the time that we're talking about ensuring that the best of the best emerges to take Nigeria forward in our development, in our advancement, in changing the narratives, should this matter. And then, with the over how many million Christians that we have in the north making this choice, isn't this a direct affront on them? That seems to be the crux of the matter. But let me welcome our panelist. Collins Amadi Osagai is a civil society activist, a political activist, public affairs commentator. Collins, thank you for joining us on the show.
Good morning. Viewers at home, good morning.
Let me also thank Christopher Ojekere, a senior special assistant to the state government. Thank you for joining us, Chris.
Good morning.
Okay, Chris, let me begin with you to lay the foundation for this conversation against the background of the gamut of issues that have been coming forth. Ordinarily, should we get bothered about this decision of the APC? In every political contest, you look at the indices on the ground, you look at the permutations and combinations, you look at what's going to work for you to ensure victory. It's all about winning. I mean, ordinarily, why are we getting so worked up by this decision of the APC?
All the looking at that you refer to, I refer to logic and syllogisms. When your decision defies all logic and syllogism, then we relook at it. We live in a plural society that is very well represented by two major religions, the Christian religion and the Muslim religion, and then every other religion, in the margin. These religions, or members, adherents of these religions, are deeply involved in the Nigerian politics, and they are deeply involved in the governance of the country. They are deeply involved in the culture of the country, in the thinking pattern of the country. And there has been so much in the country that have created so much tension, and part of it is related to religious crisis. There have been fears, and there are still fears, in the southern part of Nigeria that is dominated by the larger population of Christians in Nigeria, that there is a plan for Islamization of the country. These tensions are there, and they are not things that you can wish away or you sweep under the carpet, because these tensions are corroborated by actions that seem to suggest that they have not been explained. So given that kind of tension, the least you would expect of any responsible political party and of any responsible presidential aspirant is to ensure that if you are coming to rule in 2023, why is 2023 such an issue in Nigeria? Because of these tensions, we face an existential threat in this country. And so what we are looking forward to, and what everybody is expecting, is that we are looking forward to a president who understands these issues and who is coming to douse this tension, who is coming to unify the Nigerian people from the polarization that we already suffer, from all the assaults we suffer on both ends. So we are looking for a presidential candidate who understands these issues and will make choices that will suggest to us that in 2023, these tensions will be doused. The agitations are going on in the Southeast. The agitations are going on in the Oduduwa Republic. And yet you are having a presidential candidate who has decided to completely, in an insensate move, ignore a very huge and critical population. There's a voting participatory population in our Nigerian society. And that population, it is not as if it was something that was just done. It is something that was carefully thought of. Advice came from different quarters. People expressed their views and said, look, do not do anything, especially for 2023, that is going to spark any form of, or exacerbate the kind of tension that we already have in place. And so you go ahead and you go and choose a Muslim. Now, what do you mean by, they look at strategies, they look at them. What kind of strategy? What strategy are we talking about? Let us assume, without conceding, that you are even thinking of political strategy. Maiduguri, what's their votes in the north? What's the vote of Shetima in the north? What political influence and vote garnering can we guarantee for Shetima? I mean, we know the demographics. Before 2025, when 2015, before Buhari became president, Buhari had always had a constant 12 million votes. So if you were choosing somebody like a Buhari, who we understand that has a demographic that is stable and constant, then we say, okay, you are actually looking at the vote. You are not choosing from Kano, you are not choosing from Katsina, you are not choosing from Sokoto, you are not choosing from Kaduna. You want to choose from Borno. So what is the political strategy or rationale to say, okay, it is because you want to? If any Muslim will give you vote, why did you have to wait so long to choose Fatima? You would have chosen any Muslim from the north to give you vote if you say it is because you want to get the Muslim vote or the northern vote. Tinubu has been known to be a proponent and apostle of a Muslim ticket. He seems to have this residual superstition that because Abiola had a Muslim ticket and went far in his politics, that he must have to repeat it. And when Tinubu has his mind fixed on an idea, he doesn't listen to anybody. So what he has done is that he has shot himself on the foot. There is no way we are going to have to explain it, and it's not narrow-mindedness. We are talking of a section who feels neglected. Now, let me tell you something. It just occurred to me yesterday, and I put it up on my Facebook, that Christians don't have any partner in APC. The chairman is a Muslim, the presidential candidate is a Muslim, the vice presidential candidate is a Muslim, and down the line they are Muslims.
Okay, let me pursue you, Chris. Colin, so let's get you in here. In the last dispensation that brought President Muhammadu Buhari on stage, the party was on the verge of picking Tinubu as the vice presidential candidate to President Muhammadu Buhari. That idea was jettisoned, and eventually Professor Yemi Osinbajo, who is a Christian, was adopted. So what I mean, if we could do that, then, so what has influenced this decision now, in your opinion? And what do you make of the reactions trailing? I mean, Baba Chelawa has described it as a disastrous move that will not stand the test of time. What are your perspectives?
Maybe Baba Chelawa, the grass clearer, had wanted to be the vice presidential candidate, but maybe unfortunately didn't get to them. But just before I quickly answer, I love this question. I want to also appreciate my governor's aide. You know, they say charity must begin from home.
No, we're not talking about home now. We're talking about.
I know.
No, just hold on, Chris. Just hold on. So that, you know, it's always important that we situate the issues. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Just now, what is of discussion at the national level is in the APC's presidential and vice presidential ticket. Because now, when we now come back, we're probably not going to have extrapolation to other states. We're not talking about states now. We're talking about the presidency. Because down the line, Yar'Adua had a vice presidential candidate, Obasanjo had, Buhari had, Jonathan had. This has been the pattern. So now we are here. What do you make of this? Is this healthy for the party against the government reaction that is trailing? That's the question.
Because those who are helping to play the vuvuzela, they are trying to analyze it so much in a way to get some people offended, irritated, or feel disgust. And thank God for my very good brother and aide to the governor, apparently almost the spokesman. If not a direct spokesman.
No, he's not the spokesman. He didn't say so.
I said almost.
No, he's not even almost.
Okay, a wonderful aid to the governor.
Fantastic.
You know, he did his analogy so much in a way that was almost interesting. When he said the party chairman is a Christian.
He's a Muslim.
The president is a Muslim.
The party chairman is a Muslim.
The president is a Muslim. The vice presidential candidate is a Muslim. And the Senate president, that was his analogy. And Anna said, for example, just only this, I will go back. In Edo, for example, we have a governor as a Christian. We have the deputy as a Christian. We have the fashioner speaker as a Christian. We have the chief judge as a Christian. We have the chief of staff as a Christian. And now you know in part of Edo North, and even in Edo State as it were, we also have at least 25% Muslim in Edo State.
Okay.
So are you not telling me those Muslims are also not human beings? Now let me come to your question.
You are
now let me come to the question. I just wanted to balance
that. That was the reason why I said this is the subject of discussion.
I know, we are still on the same content.
Yes.
Now move on. Yes, Bola Ahmed Asiwaju, His Excellency, took the decision he took. I, for one, I had wanted maybe we have a Christian running mate. But along the line, haven't we? Because politics is not even about religion. It's about competence. That is what Nigeria have yearned for over the time. Just now we have a president who is a Muslim. And we have a vice president who is not just a Christian, but a head of a region, apparently, before he became a vice president.
Okay.
And now you will not tell me he's been a vice president. Of what meaningfulness, of what gain has it given us, even as Christians, or we who say we are Christians? We have a former president, President Goodluck Jonathan, who was a Christian. And also we have a Muslim running mate. Now, in balancing them, what was the gain when it comes to productivity, when it comes to competence, when it comes to the general? You see, the problem we have had, I think, and I now believe, has been on this our mentality and sentiment of wanting, because we want people to support us, bring up issue where there is none. Now, this man haven't looked around. I'm happy he said what took him so long to finally have Shetima. Before Shetima, he had Masari. Masari was a Muslim. And at the time those names were submitted to INEC, the opposition did not take a fly out of it.
Because they knew it was temporary.
No, how did you know it was temporary? Were there any announcement that it was temporary?
It was announced.
Oga, please.
It was announced that it was temporary.
Oga, those who can help us at social media helped us to balance it. And imagine on their own that the Asiwaju they know, that certainly may not be, or likely not to be, his running mate. But the candidate himself, you never hear him say it was temporary. But people on their own imagination have done all of that. But there was no outcry to that, oh, it's a Muslim ticket. Because the opposition feels he has gone all out to shop for someone not just only with capacity, but with a proven record. At the level he has served as a governor and even as a senator, they have seen what he has shown. In short, forget that he's from Borno, where you agree that, oh, Borno is not a large state, according to the census my brother has put in, which I will agree with him. But it's not just coming from Borno. It's what is your contact outside Borno. What are your records? Who are those you are prepared have even succeeded you at the time? Okay. What are your records? These are what Nigeria needs to be concerned about. We need to be concerned about competence on how Nigeria can move forward. Nobody has said Christians are not part of Nigeria. Nobody has said, oh, Oga, even if they want to Islamize Nigeria today, the vice president is a spare tire in anything. A deputy always remains a spare tire. There is nothing you can do about it. You can choose to use him, you can choose not to use him. So he's not a vice president that will make what will happen not to happen. And let me also tell you, it's unfortunate some of our religious leaders have over the time blown things out of proportion by either a way of threats. You don't threaten people by what you can't even do. And there are over time where they have gone about it, threatening political party. Everybody have a role you ought to play. Your role is supposed to be as neutral, though you may have interest within. But when you say you are overseeing people, there are ways you must go into it. When you begin to make it as if you are alpha and omega, or alpha and omega, sometimes the people may just, okay, if that be it. Because now if you want to check, every party has area of strength. Because take it or leave it. Even if I go to carry, Collins wants to become a governor, I look for a chief imam to become my deputy governor. If my party over the time have not always had an advantage in a certain region, even if I go to that place and carry a chief imam as my running mate, if they are not voting for me, they will not vote for me based on the sentiment some already have. Okay. Because unfortunately, Nigeria over the time have now been playing their politics based on sentiment. And that had actually made some regions remain where they are. That is not making them grow. You cannot just everybody must put your heads in one basket. Sometimes you hear some people now with hold microphone in pulpit and what have you, and they'll be telling their church member, this is who you must vote for. And even among the church member, there are people of different opinion. People who, by the fact that you heard the microphone, will not change what they feel. And at the end, what are you thinking? You are creating a system. You are even creating the religious crisis that we have not even seen, that you are foreseeing. By way of your attitude, already creating segmentation. You don't segment.
So you not share this ticket as
Muslim ticket for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed. To me, if that is what can make him deliver, provide security for Nigeria, help to open the economy, give people freedom and liberty at their will, go for it.
Okay.
Because when Shetima was the governor of Borno State, from even the leadership of CAM and so many of them, we have heard how they have applauded him. Even when churches and mosques were attacked, he built even over what happened. Both building in mosques and building in churches. He even built more churches than many of the mosques that were blown up.
All right,
that is an exemplary leadership.
Let me get Chris to talk along those lines. I mean, the first person that came out, I think, was the camp chairman in Borno State to say, look, this is who this man is. This is how he was useful to the church and all of that. But on the flip side, you also had some allegations of conspiracy, so to speak, about a certain Kabiru Sokoto who was involved in the Madala Catholic Church bombing back then on Christmas Day, who was found in Borno, lodge in Abuja. Yeah,
I was in Abuja then. I lived in Abuja then. I can assure you that, because he was trying to tell us about his antecedents. The letter is in the public domain as well as in the National Archives. That the first most gruesome attack which set the whole world reeling from Boko Haram was the adoption of the Chibok girls.
Sure.
Shetima had clear intelligence and an official letter written by Nyesom Wike, who was Minister of State for Education. That intelligence has shown very clearly, the letter is in the public domain, that that school and that area is under intelligence threat. Do not open schools for kids. Keep the schools shut. In total disregard for such intelligence report, Shetima opened the school and those girls were kidnapped. Kabiru Sokoto, it was the first attack against a public institution. Madala, it was twin bombing. Kabiru Sokoto escaped and he was found in the governor's lodge in Maiduguri. I'm not saying the governor handed him over, I said he was found there. So when we talk of antecedents,
the governor may not have been aware that he is there,
The governor is not aware that a terrorist is hiding inside his lodge.
He may not be aware. It may be the handiwork of his aides.
That means that all his aides were part of the conspiracy. Because that is the work of the aides. That means they are part of the conspiracy. So we don't want to whip up unnecessary tension because we are looking forward to dousing tension. But when you also have such glaring evidence before you and in the public space, then the least we can expect from you is circumspection in the choosing of an individual to say you want to bring that individual in. I do not mean to suggest this, but I'm afraid when I now begin to read it on social media that this is a shortcut for Boko Haram to enter Aso Rock. I hope not. Now the point is this. We are talking here of a critical segment.
All segments are critical.
Yeah, a critical segment in terms of demographics.
Yeah.
In terms of demographics. Edo State, which we use as an example, in the demographics, we have a 90-10 ratio of the Christian population. And all you need to do is to pick Sokoto State, or pick Kebbi State, or pick Katsina State, or pick Kano State to cancel off Edo State. It's the same thing because of the demographics. And that's why nobody has complained there. How many Christians are in those governments I have mentioned? In those hierarchies?
Those states that you mentioned.
There, yes. It's the demographics understood. But we are talking of a national government to represent these two major religions who are players in the team. What we expect is a balance. He has forgotten that Tinubu is also a Muslim. He's analyzing him from being a Southerner. He's a Muslim in the South.
And the wife is a pastor.
And then we are saying that he should pick a Christian from the North. Now I want to tell you something. The Northerners who love this country, elder statesmen, no one has approved or applauded this choice. Because the fear is this. It is your intention is different from your reputation. You may not intend to do a thing, but you create a reputation for it. And this is what I'm trying to say. If you already have such a tension in Nigeria, and people fear Islamization, and you win, let us assume that Tinubu wins the presidency, every action is going to be misinterpreted. Buhari has a pastor as a vice presidential candidate, and yet there will be so much fear for every action. When he suggested Ruga, they said he wants to colonize, he wants to Islamize Nigeria. He changed it to grazing area. Now, not to mention when you now have two, and you are talking of solving the problems. How do you solve the problem when you are now the critical part of the problem? Because every action you are going to take will create tension. People will be afraid that the hidden agenda is now about to play out. So you cannot even govern. Once they swear them in today, there's going to be agitation from the southeast. There's going to be agitation from the south-south. There's going to be agitation from the southwest. Because people will think that the Islamic agenda is complete. Now, there is no more, hold on, there's no more sentiment. He said, what has the pastor contributed to the Christian community? Balance. That's what you need in a plural society.
Never.
A sense of equity, a sense of inclusiveness. Yeah. What you have done now is a politics of exclusiveness, of exclusivity. That sense that our own is in Aso Rock keeps tension down and keeps peace in the society. So one of the greatest achievements of Yemi Osinbajo was that he created that sense always, and also sent signal to the Muslim community that he's not going to mobilize Christians against the Muslim community. And Christians say, well, he's our own there. When push comes to shove, he will come to us and tell us. You need that balance. Now, we have no sentiment being represented in Aso Rock. I'm talking of Christians. We have no thinking, Christian thinking and values represented in Aso Rock. Now, what is likely to now happen is that all the entire staff of Aso Rock are likely going to be Muslims.
All right, let me proceed there, Chris. Let me proceed there, Chris, because I don't have so much time. So you're saying that what has been done, and it is based on political expediency.
It's very important that we must move forward from our myopic viewing of issues, especially when it comes to national issues. We cannot continue. Now, I was happy he made reference to Ruga, Gracie Road, and all that, the way our people were thinking.
Our people rejected it, not the way they were thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, they said because they were thinking. At that point, it was just a suggestion. They were thinking. And you had a pastor that they were on a joint ticket who could not go all out to see the plans that himself and his boss were thinking and come all out and convince his own constituency, as assumed, that this is not what we are thinking. This is what we are thinking. But instead, he slept and was there fallow. Now, you tell me, at the end of it all, what we were still running from, the insecurity that brought about these all recommendations, is it not still on? It's still on. It did not just start in this government. It started long ago. Now you tell me, when our brother, who apparently through who confab came from, President Jonathan, had a confab where he brought both Muslim and Christians together, apparently to work out a better plan for Nigeria, maybe we wouldn't have even been thinking of this now. Yeah. If confab was implemented, I am sure by now, everybody, because even in the confab, both electoral matter and economy were treated, everything we would have had a blueprint or a white paper in which everybody would govern. But he refused. He said, if I do it now, they will say, these people will say, where have we landed us? Now, if we had a document that Nigeria is standing on its premise, I bet you, President Muhammadu Buhari or APC candidate, as it were, cannot go away because we have something to stand on. The Constitution does not say, the Constitution merits on regional arrangement to create a fair play. It did not say based on religion. Nigeria, or the Constitution of Nigeria, have never envisaged that in any sharing formula, religion must be imputed, But indeed, region was spelled out. Every region should have sense of belonging.
But is that being followed, in your opinion, from what has happened with this present administration, with all the reactions that are bringing for? Has it been followed, even without even religion? Let's talk about the region
in
alone.
the outgoing administration of President Muhammadu Buhari.
Is this being followed?
I will agree with you. Federal character has not been followed with the way appointments and what have you have been made. Okay. But unfortunately, why has it not been followed? Because 1 or 2, 3 that will also come from this our region choose to be mute. Choose those who were supposed to advise and close. Choose to be mute. Are you going to continually to blame the man there when they submit the paper to him and say, "I want this person to be in NDDC or be in so Ministry of Defense"? Through who? I am sure the executive council, they have an executive council where some things are debated before it's been finally sent to the secretary to the federal government for onward action. And when our people choose to be mute, NDDC have been silent for over the years. We had board that was constitutionally constituted ordinarily. Yeah. But we had our own brother who was overseeing that ministry and make sure the board never had lights. Today you go and blame President Muhammadu Buhari? No, you wouldn't do that. Okay, it's my party at this point. But we have to be who we are. Yeah. So if we are not coming to come and be crying foul where there is none, then there is a problem. Because what I think we need right now, I have always said, Nigeria is going to have, he spoke more than I do. I just came.
Well, I'm asking you another question because I wanted to take it further to ask you, do you think that this conversation on the Muslim ticket is going to polarize the country more? Because I've heard people say that Nigeria has never been this polarized under this present administration compared to what we used to have in the past. Will this ticket debate worsen it?
That is why we are going to have another administration. Not until you try them, you wouldn't know them. When in 1993, when MKO Abiola came, Nigeria have gotten to a certain consciousness at that time. The political awareness was even more. It was when after those era, there were failure of government. That was what took away people's interest in politics again. Okay. Thank God the consciousness also is growing again. At that time, North, West, South, anyhow you call them, they didn't vote based on party. But do you know what? It was a Muslim ticket. The election was also annoyed by a Muslim, by a fellow Muslim, which was Babangida. He was a Muslim. Now, at that time, meaning it was not about a religious affair. It was about a clique arrangement. So if it was a religious affair, maybe he would have thought twice and said, these two people are of my religion. So for every reason, they should come in. But Shoniko was brought in as the interim government. Shoniko came within the period he spent before Abacha also pushed him away. Yeah. Now, what am I trying to say is that we must grow beyond this religious matter. If MKO Abiola have succeeded or have had the opportunity, between him and his running mate, we would have had the opportunity to really check if it's about competence or not competence. So polarizing Nigeria today, when it comes to Muslim ticket, I think we will appeal to our religious leaders, not to create tension that they cannot manage when it comes. Okay,
let me get Chris to
I'm
quickly.
I'm not a religious leader here.
Yeah. I'm saying this issue of polarization of Nigeria.
Yes. No, he used the word myopia. Now, what is myopia? Single-minded thinking.
Good.
You have multiplicity of choices, and you say only one is the best. What is more myopic than somebody from 200 million and a Christian religion and other religion picking only Muslim and thinking that only a Muslim has the competence to rule? That is myopia you are saying we should discourage. How do you rule a plural society? Go to Britain. Britain is as plural as Nigeria. The Muslims have rights there, guaranteed for them. The Hispanic have rights. Blacks have rights. Now, the constitution and the governance is done in such a way that all of these interest groups are taken because they know that it's a plural society. But
every citizen have rights here too.
We think that UK
every citizen have rights in Nigeria too. So what are you trying to say?
Now,
don't we have a norms? We have a constitution which is our norms that guides us.
Let's quickly.
The point I'm saying is that if you have rights and then you have culture, and then you have sentiments, and then you have interest, If you want to be a wise leader, you look at all of that, and then you make your choices. Constitutionally, Tinubu can pick anybody, but it's going to suffer at the polls. For instance, I can assure you as I'm sitting here, that the Christian community have rejected that ticket. We have rejected the ticket.
Your section, so, because I'm also a Christian.
Yes.
And my section of Christian, we want competence and we want good governance.
No. Your section of Christian will vote for Muslim ticket.
Of course, it doesn't matter because God does not discriminate. And let me tell you, the God we serve, Allah and the other is just one God.
Okay, all right.
It's just one God.
So I am saying that the ticket that he has paraded, the Christian community has rejected it. Now, beyond that,
are you speaking for the Christian community?
Just hold on.
I want you to guide him.
Hold on. We
are running away from my contribution. Do you understand that? That's why you are interrupting. And that is the very variant in the thinking sensibility that led to this kind of choice. Because when you don't hear from everybody, and you don't hear from every side, you take the wrong decisions. The point we are making is this. There is already polarization in Nigeria. You cannot pretend to be blind to the fact that on a daily basis, bandits under the coloration of a particular religion is believed to be in our forests, killing our women and our daughters, and raping our daughters, and the fear in the south, a palpable fear, even in the north, is that there is an attempt to Islamize Nigeria. If you take away that topical issue, that's the 2023 issue. You're only living in a fool's paradise to think that Nigerians will forget all of that and say academically, Muslim ticket is that. Actually, the person is just trying to bandy words.
Okay,
it's a palpable fear that we cannot take away. And the only wise choice to make is to make a choice that will douse that fear. That's why when Atiku Abubakar came all the way from Adamawa to come and pick a deputy in Delta, PDP has the kind of peace that you have now. And they have won. I'm not talking of political problems. I'm talking of societal problems. I'm talking of the question of threat. I'm talking of the question of, what do you call it, existential threat.
Yeah.
Now, PDP today will win an election landslide in this country because both sections of the country, north and south, both major religions are represented.
Okay, let me pause you there, Chris, because our time is up on the discussion segment of TMI Thursday. But let me just get a 1 minute response from you as we call it a wrap.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. I like my governor's aide. Sometimes when he tried to make his analysis, he talked about insecurity, the Muslim, yes, and he said it's a coloration. It's not being fair.
Yeah.
If he's dragging it into a certain religion, we must be fair.
No, he didn't. Hold on. He didn't drag it. He said he has a coloration.
What kind of coloration?
That's what he said. That's what he used.
The first Eagle bomb blast that took place at Eagle Square, when Jonathan was the president of the Federal Republic, and President Jonathan was the chief of the security of
chief security officer
of the Federation.
Yeah.
He was left at Eagle Square when it was the first bomb. By who? From who? Which people? The people that were caught and arrested that agreed to that effect. Who were they? Were they not Christians? So was that not the beginning of the bomb blast in this country?
Is there evidence that they were Christians?
They were, because they were arrested and they were from this region.
And they said they were Christians?
Oh my God. So let's not even, I am coming now because you don't push things, outside the bounds. They were his neighbors.
Hold on now, just hold on. The same way you are saying he's pushing things outside the bounds, you're also pushing things outside the bounds.
I think you should let him keep talking so that the viewers will be hearing him.
I
just reminded you of the first
Christianity of the bomb blast that is going on.
Yes,
hold on. I think you should keep talking.
Hold on, because
you are not saying Christians are the one bombing Nigeria.
Why did you not say,
Chris, hold on.
The insecurity?
Hold on, Collins. Just hold on, Collins, because Gideon Oka was the mastermind of that incident, right?
Yes.
Do you have evidence? Because she's from the south, it's not enough to say he's a Christian. And it's also wrong for you to say, oh, this is a Christian stuff. That's a very wrong comment to make. Now, I heard what Chris said, that he has this
a
coloration.
perception.
He has a perception.
And that if you want to make a
Yes,
choice, you have to doubt that perception.
What
And you are here
What's
criticizing that perception.
What's the
the
perception?
use of language, so that you don't go out of track, hoping that that's what he said.
That is
those
exactly
who are communicating,
no.
those who are communicating to understand these things perfectly.
I do understand what he meant. And
Yeah,
you
are
must
you
go.
denying
So
the
You
fear?
must go now. You must go.
Are you
Hold on.
denying
From
the
that
fear of
moment,
Islam?
from that moment to today, what has been the situation?
It has become
Are you,
worse.
are you denying
So
the
who are
fear
the
of
perpetrators?
Islamism?
The perpetrators doesn't have a religion. The perpetrators doesn't have religion.
All right,
They are just miscreants.
Okay.
They are elements who have resolved to bring Nigeria down.
Okay, fantastic, gentlemen. Let's pause it there today. That's how much time we have for this conversation. And I want to say big thanks to Christopher Jekere.
Thank you.
As well as Colin Samadi.
Thank you very
You guys
much.
just shake your hands, so we know that. Yeah.
He's going to give me some
We'll take a short break. We'll be back to conclude our discussion on the show. Don't go away.